that being said, we're going to move on to our breaking news. Shane, I can officially use. Boom. There it is.
There it is.
It's breaking. We're broken. We have broken it. Guys, just moments before we were going to go on the show, you guys seen it on every article we were here. They're trying to alert us all. James Gunn is going to be the head of DC, guys. This is shocking news. Like, shocking. This should say shocking, not breaking. Shocking, because this is crazy to me. We could talk about this for an hour, I feel like, but let's not. So, Peter Safran is also there with him, they're saying. I could care less about that. He's the guy that did a lot of the Blumhouse stuff, I believe, like Annabelle and stuff like that. That's cool and interesting. The true news to this, guys, is James Gunn is Kevin Feige for DC now. That's crazy. This is wild. I love James Gunn. For the most part, I enjoy his films. Shane, you asked me before the show started, did I like his Suicide Squad movie? And no, I did not. Not only did I not like it, I never want to see it again. I mean, there was probably 2 or 3 moments that I really enjoyed. I remember telling you, Shane, that I thought one of the best moments of that movie, and you probably ain't going to remember this, but I thought one of the best moments of that movie was
Suicide Squad?
Yeah, the one that James Gunn did. Right, I know. But I was telling you this when I seen it a couple years ago, that one of the best moments in the movie was when King Shark, who's a giant CG shark, is on a bus. He can't even really talk, He's on a bus with everybody heading to the thing. It's raining out. They stop at a stoplight, and there's a couple that come out of a bar that are clearly, newly dating and are in love, and they stop and they kiss each other in the rain. And you cut to King Shark, and he puts his hand on the window, and you can see, that he longs for just love and the things that we all have. And like I was telling you that day, anytime your CG shark character is giving me the best moment of the film,
the best performance, that ain't good.
This is not good.
That's not a good sign.
This is not good at all. Or one of my favorite quotes coming out of it was, there was a bunch of these other nerds, because I'm a nerd too, but there's a bunch of these other nerds that were out there, and they're in a group, talking about it, and me and my wife walk by, and I overhear one of them was, but the coolest part is when King Shark grabs that dude and rips him in half. And it's he's not wrong. That sucks. That sucks that was the coolest. That was one of the coolest parts. I really didn't like that movie. I thought that movie was too much James Gunn. I felt like someone threw him a big bag of cocaine and was like, here's a big bag of money to do whatever you want, James Gunn. And I don't think that works. We've seen that with lots of people. Someone we love a lot, David Lynch, even has, dug himself a hole, being given the ability to do what he wants.
Unlimited freedom.
Yes, yeah. Right. So I don't think that, I think that too much James Gunn might be too much James Gunn. But again, you have Peter Safran there. So this is going to be kind of ran together. I imagine Safran's going to handle more of the television side of it, I imagine. But who knows what we're going to get? James Gunn made a Peacemaker with John Cena, and that was fucking awesome. That's still one of the best shows that I've seen comic book wise this year. That is a good show. So yeah, we could totally get that. I could see a James Gunn animated whatever, Suicide Squad animated show or whatever. So this is crazy. Crazy and more than crazy, it's just unexpected. Like I said, this should say shocking, because it really did it just set me back in my seat. I'm like, whoa, we're gonna have to change the whole show now today, because it's such big news. Again, we know how much Kevin Feige brings to Marvel. James Gunn's been there, guys. He's been working with Marvel under Kevin Feige. As we know, Guardians is coming up. This will be his third film. He also did the holiday special. He's been executive producer on other things for Marvel. He's very dug in deep with how all these things work. And more than anything, just like Kevin Feige, James Gunn is a huge fan of this world. He's a huge fan of DC. He's a huge fan of these characters. He's a huge fan of the DC characters that we don't even freaking know, guys. Like Polka Dot Man and stuff like I didn't even know who these people were, but he does, and just like the Guardians of the Galaxy, he can make obviously a very good movie with very unknown, weird characters. So it's exciting to think that we have someone there now that we can look to. That we can say, hey, we have at least some faith that this guy knows what he's doing, knows how to make good movies, knows how to make good TV shows, and people love him, right? And so now you got him. And I think having him as the head is going to change a lot for DC. As we talked about, we have Black Adam out in theaters right now. I think that's going to kind of give us a little bit of a reset. We also had the Batman, right? Which is like its whole own separate thing. Again, I can't even express how exciting this is to me. I think that Walter Hamada, the former president of DC, was doing the best he could at the time, but he came in, with so much problems. He came in during the Justice League stuff and the Batman versus Superman stuff and all of those things. So I think that this is going to really right the ship for them, I hope. Like I said, I think it helps definitely having somebody who really loves this material and who's a real fan of all these things. And as much as I didn't like that Suicide Squad movie, it's like a 90-some% critically and a 90-something audience. So most people enjoyed that movie. I mean, pretty much everybody but me enjoyed that movie. So it looks good. I'm assuming that, again, as you know, Shane, I'm not the biggest DC fan, but I'm assuming if you're a DC fan like I'm a Marvel Disney fan, you got to be super stoked today. This has to be really exciting news to know that you got someone that you think you could trust, that's now helming the ship. And I mean, again, we're not even talking much about Peter Safran, but he has his whole own, reputation and things that he's going to bring into this as well. And I think that'll help too, right? Because we always talk about how Kevin Feige is overextended himself, and he now, so having two Feiges could really, really help the situation, especially if they're going to be not just handling the films, but the television and the animation and so on and so forth. Shane, you're hearing this information, this news. I know you haven't seen, you probably only seen Guardians of the Galaxy. It's probably the only James Gunn thing you've even seen. But
that and Super.
Oh, with Dwight, with Rainn Wilson?
Yeah.
Classic.
That was probably the best thing probably the only thing I like that James Gunn did. But he's a big name. You're excited. We were talking about it earlier, and you guys were super excited that this was happening. So that's great news. I hate being the contrarian, but that's me.
It's your job.
I'm this cranky old man that remembers when I was growing up, our big directors were like the Coen brothers up and coming, or Tarantino. Now we got Gunn and Abrams and Snyder. These giants of the industry putting their stamps on these franchises that they don't own or control. Whatever. I'm sorry. Honestly, this is exciting news because people flipped out over Guardians. They love that movie, and I love DC Comics. So the fact that they got such a big gun over at DC, that's a huge win for them. So I am happy for them. One thing that, I'm reading this article here. One thing I want to say real quick to clear up is, and I lost it. Here we go. So from what I'm reading, Safran's going to be more in charge of the business and production side. And then
that makes sense. Yeah. And then creative wise, James Gunn.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And so the only thing that I'm a little bit like, we'll see how this goes is, again, just reading the details. It's for a 4-year deal.
Sure.
I mean, how long does it take a movie to get made now?
Yeah.
3 years?
Hey, listen, look, I don't blame them. I mean, with all the shit they've dealt with, I'm not giving nobody a 10-year contract again.
I'm just saying, I think I'd be more excited if it was a 10-year contract, because let's say he gets the world going and the first couple movies start coming out.
But if he gets the world going in 4 years, they're going to go, yes.
But then you get
sign
this
new one, James.
Sure, but if you get, let's say he doesn't sign, and then you get, you're right, if there's successful money talks, right?
Yeah.
So if, let's say for whatever reason, Marvel hires him back because they offer him $1 billion or something. And then you got new creative team going, well, are we going to follow James Gunn's plans? Well, maybe we'll deviate this way.
But see, Gunn's looking at it as his advantage too, right? Because he's thinking, shit, in 4 years, I'll have this motherfucker going crazy. And then I can renew and be like, hey, if you want to keep me around. But if he signs the 10 now, he's Scottie Pippen in himself, Shane.
Sure, but this is also the company that's vowed to cut $3 billion in the next 2 years.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so, that's cutting DC movies. Yeah. Like, with everyone involved just going.
And so, now we got Discovery, who's in charge of the money for Warner Brothers.
Right.
But now Gunn, who's like,
temporarily.
Oh, man, I got all these great ideas. And who knows if Discovery can be like, oh, that sounds too expensive. Let's not do that.
That's the beautiful thing about all of this, Shane, is I don't know if you know this or not, but David Zaslav, is the guy who runs Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
It was him who wanted to buy Warner Brothers. And then after buying them, a while went by, he came out and was like, hey, look, man, the only reason I bought this is because I'm finna flip this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that perfect thing, like we were talking about selling out, right? He knows this. He's selling this, right? So who cares how it does? Look how good, but look what it brings us right now. Mm-hmm. So if you're a guy looking to buy Warner Brothers, you're going, well, shit, they got James Gunn running DC now.
I guarantee you, as soon as this Gun news, if we look at the stock sheets.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
I got
absolutely.
Some. I got a
there
little
you go.
bit.
You got some DC stock?
Warner
stock?
Brothers stock. Yeah. It was just so low. I mean, if you look at it, studio wise, if you look at every other, I mean, like specifically you want to compare it to Marvel, right? Mm-hmm. In Disney's Marvel studio. And if you compare it to that, like those stocks are trading for, hundreds of dollars and DC's like 10.
$20. 10. Ouch.
That's nothing. Yeah. Like if they can write that ship, Shane, then we'll be having a whole different conversation when all my stocks are worth $100 a piece.
I hope they do, because honestly, out of the classic studios, Warner's probably my favorite. They're still around. That's great. They also had the legacy of the Looney Tunes. Then when they bought DC Comics back in the 70s, I think. I mean, now you're combining another one of my loves. So, I'm always rooting for Warner Brothers. And I do hope they get, back on track, because I was there, I guess not quite 20 years ago, and it was the most depressing studio tour that we took. It was just like you could see tumbleweeds, and it was like you wanted to cry.
Oh, that's weird, man, because a pundit you and I both know very well has always told me, like, if you go there, make sure you go and take the Warner Brothers tour. Mm-hmm. But he did work there for years too, so.
Well, it wasn't the backlot tour. This was like a production tour. I was there with my animation teacher.
Oh, yeah, you were trying to, it's a whole different kind of tour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we saw all the
you
working.
See the opposite
happen.
Tour.
Yeah, and it was just depressing. They were making the Green Lantern animated movie. I think this was like 2007 or something like that. Sure. And, I mean, it looked great, but everybody was just there just like, I'm in hell.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've heard about those. Same guy I was talking about. He talks about how when he was doing that, it was like what do you call those things where they make kids work?
Oh, child labor.
Yeah, but I feel like there's like a name.
Slave labor.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a name for like the place that they do it at. And
you mean like a I know what you're talking
about.
Yeah.
And he was saying it was like that. He said that, you go in there and everyone's like they're almost forced to be there. And he said that they would set up like they would have to
sweatshop.
Yes. He said that they'd have to like rent out a warehouse just randomly, and they would set up all these computers and all these desks and shit just for like a 10-minute scene on a movie. Mm-hmm. And that it would take, weeks.
Couple months or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They would have to spend all this money. And he said everyone in there was just like you were saying, just like, like a sweatshop.
This is my dream.
Right. I'm working on Iron Man. Right. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Right. you and like all those other 10,000 dudes at the end credits when it's like, this production company.
You know, a studio here worked on Iron Man and Transformers, and they're no longer around because that stuff is
or like we even talk often about the Life of Pi crew, right? That won the Academy Award while filing bankruptcy,
right? And then went on to do Sonic and was asked to redo all their work again. So they can't win.
Yeah, for sure. I seen that those guys though. We're going to be making some sort of series, though. I can't remember what it was. But I just remember seeing they were like the Life of Pi place.
And we didn't cover that here?
Series. We had to cover James Gunn, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. He is a big gun.
Right? I do want to read a little bit from this article, though, real quick before we move on from it, just because I like how they word this here. Here it is. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. The hierarchy of the power in the DC universe really is changing. In a stunning turn of events, filmmaker James Gunn and producer Peter Safran have been tapped to lead DC's film, TV, and animation efforts as co-chairs and co-CEOs of DC Studios, a newly formed division at Warner Brothers that will replace DC Films. Again, I can't express enough how just shocking this is, especially that we didn't hear anything about it, like that they were wanting to do stuff, right? Nothing.
This explosion, it's happened.
Yeah, just here it is. This is what's happening. But again, it makes sense. I think this is a splash for them, it makes sense to want it to be a big, if they would have said, new head of DC, Shane Wallace, we'd have been like
crickets.
Who? Yeah. Right, exactly.
But this is a big deal,
right? Yeah. But James Gunn really brings like a lot to it. I think.
I have a question for you, being a fan of both these directors and these comic book DC movies. The last couple weeks with Black Adam coming out and then the Henry Cavill reveal, we've heard a lot of the Zack Snyder universe is finally being restored. Mm-hmm. Didn't you feel like it was kind of going that way, and then all of a sudden it's just like this James Gunn news seemed out of nowhere? It seemed like they almost did have a way, and it's like, nope, guys have no idea this is breaking. We're just gonna.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that's kind of what they wanted to do too, is that they wanted this, and I think the timing of Black Adam kind of matches up with it too, is that that there's this shift happening. It's all around. It's not just in the DC, EU, but also in the, like they say, in the hierarchy of, behind the scenes is also changing. And I think these things kind of coincide with each other. And I think that's why you announced this now. So again, as The Rock's been saying, and the director of Black Adam and the producers, that this is, the new, like, imagine this as Iron Man 1. That's what Black Adam is. And that would make sense to, like I said, to want to get out and say, and here's the guys that are going to be, making the movies going forward. And I think that's great, man. That there's no way in my mind, like zero chance that we don't get a Dr. Fate movie now. We're definitely going to get a Dr. Fate movie under James Gunn. There's no way it doesn't happen.
That's definitely more of his style.
Oh, yeah.
That more comedic approach to it. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
I mean, I'm looking at the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because a few things, like Will Poulter's in it as Adam Warlock. Will Poulter
that's cool.
is the sorry, Will, is the guy that they call the eyebrow kid.
From what?
Oh God, We're the Millers.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got the weird, that kid.
That kid's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was in the movie with Leo where he like sleeps in a bear or whatever.
Oh yeah, he was.
And he got nominated for an Academy Award for that movie, and he's a great actor. He was also in the Maze Runner, the first Maze Runner movie, which was really good. But yeah, dude's put on. You should see the dude. Like he's a record. He looks handsome all of a sudden, and he's all chiseled. He's got a chin, and he's fucking ripped. I mean, he looks like Adam Warlock, man. So I'm really excited for that. I'm also excited for the things that we may get with Guardians 3. We may finally figure out, how Rocket came to be, which is very interesting to me. Interesting.
You don't think that should be its own story? Like a separate, maybe even like a Werewolf by Night type of thing?
I mean, it's just like in Guardians 2 was about Ego, the living planet, which ended up,
I didn't see Guardians 2.
Which ended up being Quill's dad. So it was really his story, but it's the Guardians because they're a team. So I think it's going to be something like that.
If they did that with the second one, I could see him doing that with the third one.
So I think the High Evolutionary, you may not even know this, Shane, but you could correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the High Evolutionary is who made Rocket.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know who the High Evolutionary is?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and he created Rocket and stuff. So I think we'll kind of get into that, and maybe just like the group has to help Peter kill his father, maybe the group has to help Rocket, kill
overcome
his creator.
Something or whatever it is. Yeah,
for sure. So I'm excited to an extent. Honestly, to be completely honest, I'm more excited for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that's coming out in a couple of months.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, because
that definitely seems like James Gunn.
Yeah, right. It's that kind of stuff that feels like that's when I could handle giving him a bag of cocaine and a bunch of money and saying, do what you want. Because it's probably going to be 45, 50 minutes, and I just want it to be stupid.
Oh, it better be. It better be like the Star Wars Christmas special. They better be celebrating some ridiculous holiday that's not Christmas. It's, Sweater Day or whatever it is.
Right, for sure. So, yeah, I'm super excited for that. And that's not that far away, man. That's only a couple months. I mean, that's like November, I think. It might be beginning of December. But, so I'm stoked for that more than I am probably Guardians 3. But I haven't seen that at Guardians 3 yet either. So, once we see, and it's so far away. So, once we see a trailer for Guardians 3, I'll probably be more excited as long as it's not like Ant-Man 3's trailer.
Oh, man.
But yeah, this is exciting news to me, though. I'm super stoked. Happy for James Gunn, too. Shane, I don't know if you remember, but something we were talking about adding our Twitter handles on here. It wasn't but just like 3 or 4 years ago, right, that DC fired. Marvel. That Disney fired James Gunn because some tweets he made when he was, 8 years old or whatever.
Well, looking how things spread out through time-wise, that's probably the best mistake he ever made in his life, because if he doesn't get fired at Marvel, he doesn't go to DC.
Yeah, right.
Make Suicide Squad.
Right, but
he doesn't go to DC. He doesn't
the,
become the head of DC.
But then he got his cake and got to eat it too.
Yeah, because he comes back to Guardians.
Because Disney gets on the phone and is like, "Yo, man, we was wrong. I mean, I guess the DC's willing to accept it." Right. And James Gunn, now he's big dog in the room, right?
Absolutely.
And he's like, well, I'll do that one last movie for you, but that's it.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to your competition.
Right. Yeah. Now I'm going to head it.
Everything. Oh, Marvel's doing TV now? Well, we're doing TV.
Doing TV now, right? Yeah, so I think it's brilliant. And not to mention, like I said, he worked under, Feige for years. So I'm sure he's gathered a lot of knowledge and information on how to build a successful franchise and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait. Guys, let me know down in the comments section below, what are your guys' thoughts? James Gunn leading DC. That's awesome, man. If anything, we should be excited by the potential of it.
Here we go.
I mean, maybe this goes disastrous. Maybe it does, guys. But right now, we should celebrate this as a small win, because it's been disastrous. It's one of those things where it's hard to imagine it getting any worse, right, Shane? Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I mean, maybe he fucks it up, but it couldn't be much worse than it is right now. So yeah. So hopefully this, like I said, rights the ship. It seems like Zaslav is really trying to make splashes, while also, this is a big splash, but he's also trying to, something we didn't talk about, is cutting and saving a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. He saved over $2 billion for them just with some of the cuts that he's made. So he's saving he's also the guy that came in and was like, J.J. Abrams is making nothing.
Yeah.
Not a damn thing under my damn roof.
Well, now J.J. Abrams trying to shop that DC show around.
Not just that. He's trying to shop everything he was doing. They had one show, I remember telling you, they had given him like $400 million for it, and they were like, they had already spent like $150 million and had done like 4 or 5 episodes. And even then, Davis was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, but I know when to cut my losses. We spent $150 on it. We're gonna get nothing out of it if I cut it off. But okay,
yeah, it's better than spending."
I seen some of it.
Yeah.
Let's just get it out of here. I mean, that's what happened with the Batwoman movie, right? That ended up getting canceled is that he went in, and when they bought the company, he went and was like, "I want to see everything." And when he seen that movie, he was like,
"Yeah, no one else is seeing this.
Yeah, this can't be. This is gonna fuck shit up." And it's funny too because the axe swings both ways because. As I was telling you, the Blue Beetle movie was meant to be a direct-to-streaming movie. But he sat down and watched it and was like, streaming my ass? This thing's going to theaters. We're going to bank money off of this. This is a good fucking movie. So it seems like they have a good leader there that's trying at least. It's always difficult, right, when you're trying to make those business decisions with those creative decisions.
Absolutely.
But it seems like he's trying his best. It also hurts as a creator and as a fellow creator, Shane, I'm sure you understand that all those people, there's thousands of people that worked on that Batwoman or Batgirl movie.
Yeah, I read something about all the cuts that they saved.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people got laid off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But, that's also why I don't live in Los Angeles and pursue that, because it is a, work for hire game, and I didn't want to play that game.
Yeah, it's a dog-eat-dog world, man.
Exactly. So all the people, they know, that's part of the, why they strive for the success is so they can find the stability within, that lifestyle, because it's tough out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's anybody's game out there, or as we like to say in the football world, next man up, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, that being said, guys, again, let us know down in the comment section below. What are you guys thinking about this whole thing? You excited? More James Gunn, less James Gunn, more Coke, less Coke. Let us know what you think about James Gunn.
Less Coke for him, more Coke for us.
Yeah. And probably less money too.
Yeah.
Because I think he ends up spending a lot of it on, never mind.